This is Will Nunziata, New York City-based director and creator of theater, television, and film. And today I am thrilled to be speaking with the acclaimed actress, singer, dancer, director, choreographer. She's a Renaissance woman, what can I say? The one and only Becky Grace Kalman. But before we get to our interview, here's a sneak peek at Becky's incredible talent.
I love Sydney and Marlowe, and often I borrow their words to express how I feel. I love poems of mystery, fantasy, history, oh, what seductive appeal. Suddenly see love standing beside me. He don't give me orders, he don't tends to corrupt, and absolute power. Wait, corrupts? Absolutely, that is genius. But give me some time, I'll be twice as good as that. 6 months from now, sweetheart, they're suspecting things. People will say we're in love.
Hello, Becky, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Becky, I'm doing so much better now that we are finally connected. I
I know.
We know so many people in common. I love that we were able to just like catch up for the first time. Catch up. You catch up with people that you know, you've known, but I feel like I've known you. You, not only being an incredible talent, you're an incredible soul and vibration, and I can tell that. Becky, but I want to know first and foremost, where were you born, and was there like a specific moment for you when you fell in love with singing in the theater? Like, was it a solo you sang? Was it a Broadway show you saw? Was it a performer or cast album you were obsessed with, or all of the above?
So I grew up on Long Island, like a 35-minute train ride into Penn Station.
Where in Long Island?
New Hyde Park.
I love it. I grew up.
I thought you were gonna be like, oh, I was born there.
Yeah, I was like, we were born on the same block. You're like, Will, you already creeped me out even more now. I was born 30 minutes north of Manhattan in Westchester. Keep going. This is about you.
Great. I teach in Westchester. We can talk about that later.
Wait, where?
Hastings on Hudson.
I love it. I wasn't born there though. Keep going.
Okay. So I was born on Long Island, and my dad is a musician. My mom is an actress, singer turned voice teacher, theater arts director. So it's like, it's in my blood. My sister, it's in her blood too. But you talk about a moment, and when I saw Annie on Broadway when I was 4 years old, actually, I think I might have not actually been 4 yet. I think my parents might have been like, yeah, she's 4, wink, wink. It might've been one of those situations, but I saw Annie on Broadway, and I don't know if this is my actual memory of the experience, or if this story has just been told so many times in my family that I feel like I actually remember this happening. But when the set pieces moved by themselves, I was like, oh my God, like magic, literal magic. And I said to my mom after the show, I was like, the girl who plays Annie is 12. I'm going to be on Broadway by the time I'm 12 years old. She was like, okay, sure, 4-year-old child. That didn't necessarily happen because she wanted me to have a normal childhood and blah, 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 which at the time I was very resentful. I was like, I don't want to have a normal childhood. I want to be on Broadway. Now I'm grateful that I had a normal childhood, but that set me up on my path. And I've like literally never looked back.
That's amazing. I love the fact, I love these moments when we're young, we actually get to see ourselves on stage. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And for you, it was seeing a little girl that, you know, you were like, wait, I can do that. But the magic of it, the fact that like, you not only saw the sets move, but dare I say, you saw them dance, Becky. And so I feel like, you know, perhaps even then, obviously, although you're an amazing actress, singer, dancer, you also direct and choreograph. So I'm sure that there was something that even at that young age sparked you the whole notion that not only people can dance, but sets can dance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, probably. It was all just like too foreign for my small little brain to like be aware of, but I'm sure. You know, wouldn't surprise me.
You've gotten to perform in some of our nation's best regional theaters and some amazing productions with some amazing people at the helm whom I know and are just so incredibly talented. I want to know, Becky, though, are there few experiences that stand out for you? You know, not to, you know, discriminate against any
Right.
amazing shows I'm sure you were a part of, but were there some in particular that really, you know, hold near and dear to your heart?
Absolutely. Working at Tuacan. So for people that don't know, Tuacan is an outdoor 2,000 seat amphitheater in the middle of Utah, and it's literally in a canyon. Like, you look, when you're standing on stage, if you look behind you, there are red rocks everywhere. And at night, if you look up, if it's a clear night, you see stars and the moon. It's magical. And we were doing Shrek there. And I'm a big fan of Shrek, but specifically the number Freak Flag, which in our production was subtly, but not so subtly, just like a gay pride anthem, like rainbows all over the place on stage with the lighting. And looking out into the house and seeing these little children in a place like Utah, not to get political, but in a place that might not be as open-minded as we are in New York, and seeing these kids look up to, you know, the gingerbread man and the fairy godmother and all of these storybook characters that they know and love, and hearing us sing about being proud of who you are, whatever that means, you know, it was just so, like, it was hard for me not to get choked up every night. It was so beautiful. And that was 4 years ago, you know, and I'm like, I'm still carrying that around with me to this day.
But isn't
Like,
it the beautiful
yeah,
thing of theater, right? I'm sorry for
yeah.
to interrupt. Go ahead, my love.
No, it's like amazing. It's amazing when you can connect with anyone in an audience, but especially young children who are they're like sponges, you know, they soak up everything that you give them.
Well, those kids are
And
the
they
young
believe it, they
Beckys.
buy into it.
And those kids are the young Beckys that saw Annie saw the
Right.
sets move
Yeah.
and saw the magic. The fact
Yeah.
that they now are ingrained, their first impression, many of them, under the stars of beautiful Utah. Yes,
Yeah.
in a state that may be a little bit, you know, right on the political spectrum, but that their first impression of a theater piece that celebrates inclusion is um, is an incredible thing that no one will ever be able to take away from you, Becky. That you were a part of that specific production, whose creative team decided to make a certain song in the show more about, you know, a specific socio-political movement
Mm-hmm.
than maybe other productions. That's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. It was very special.
Did you ever get to go on as Fiona?
So that whole thing was wild. I originally was not cast as the Fiona understudy, but so Tuacan they run in rep. So we had 3 seasons running at the same time. And we had the same woman was playing Fiona and Catherine in Newsies, and the same person was understudying both of those roles. And we had a situation one week where both of them went down with actually very similar injuries. It was kind of bizarre. Yeah. And so it was like, okay, what do we do? Like, how do we have a show? And so at that point they were like, okay, we need to have a secondary understudy. So they auditioned a couple of us. I booked, I guess you could say, the Fiona understudy. But at that point, there was never another instance in the season where both of them were out. I did get to do a run, like an understudy rehearsal run, and they let people from the cast come to watch if they wanted to. So like, it was fun. It was like my own little show, you know. It was really cool.
Again,
Really cool.
Another special moment that no one's going to ever be able to take away from you.
Yeah. And I
So
got to fly, like I got to learn how to fly. I got to train with the horse because Tuacan, we have a live horse. Why not?
as you do in Utah, you know what I mean?
Literally.
And did you get to do all like the costume changes and everything as like everything?
No, we actually didn't do any costume stuff. They were like building me things, but because I never had to go on, I never, you know.
But what an amazing experience. That's freaking
Yeah.
amazing.
And also like typical of like understudies and swings having to learn roles and then never being able to perform them.
Well,
It's like part of the thing, part of the job.
And we can get into like the hugest discussion right now with obviously swings and understudies finally getting the spotlight they long have deserved, being the bedrock of Broadway and the theater for God, centuries. But Becky, I also want to lean into a little bit of your love of directing and choreographing. When did that come about for you?
I mean, directing was much later. Choreographing, if you looked back, you could probably pinpoint
you could
like,
track
oh, like there's 8-year-old Becky bossing around her friends, making them literally like, I'd be like, yeah, let's make up a dance. But it's not let's make up a dance. It's I'm going to make up a dance and I'm going to tell you what to do.
That's right. Hashtag boss lady.
Yeah. Yeah. And my friends were very good about going with it. I think they just knew like they weren't going to get out of it. It wasn't worth putting up a fight. So many dances were created, many front or backyard shows were performed. But actually my first professional job ever, I was still in college. It was a summer stock gig in Ogunquit, Maine, not at the Playhouse. I don't think it still exists anymore, but there used to be a small little black box theater like down the road from the Playhouse. And I was hired in between my sophomore and my junior year of college to perform in that season, but I was also hired to choreograph that season. And how old was I? 20? Yeah, I wasn't even 21 years old yet. And yeah, right. I know it was wild.
That's
It was
amazing.
a lot of fun. It was a lot of work, but I made great money. And yeah, so I choreographed The Fantastics and Midlife Crisis, the musical. What 20-year-old knows about being in, midlife, but
as you do, like the most beautiful of simplistic, gorgeous, elegant shows, The Fantastics.
Yeah.
Midlife Crisis music. I mean, but the dichotomy of theater, but I feel like, no offense, Vic, I'm sure you honestly knocked it out of the park because you seem like an old soul. Do you know what I mean? Like you were not 4 when you saw Annie, you were like 2 and like, you understand Miss Hannigan's arc, like no one's business.
Right. Absolutely. Of course.
And you're also born and bred in New York. So come on.
Yeah.
Listen, Becky, I could talk to you forever. Before my final question, I want to let everyone know for more on the incredible, incredible Becky Grace Kalman. You can read more about her right below this video. Becky, looking forward, slowly but surely, I really do think the theater is gonna come back in full. I'm really optimistic. I'm curious about your optimism about the opening of theater and what you're most looking forward to as the theater opens up as an artist, as both a performer and as a creator.
Yeah, that's a really great question. I will try to keep it as succinct as possible.
You can do whatever you want, honestly. Like, go for 5 hours. Go.
Because my mom's motto is glass half full, cup half full. So like that has been instilled in me since I was a fetus in the womb. And I definitely agree with you. There is a part of me that's like, theater has survived world wars. It survived 9/11. Like it's not going away. So there's that part. Then there's the part of me that's working as a COVID safety monitor on Broadway, literally watching shows hanging on by a thread. Like I was supposed to work at Music Man all week. Hugh Jackman is COVID. Music Man has been canceled. Like this industry was always turbulent and it was always kind of like you never knew what was coming next. And now it feels like there is a huge crack in the foundation and shows are just trying not to slip into that crack. So it's really very bizarre. I do think things will eventually feel a lot better, but I think we all have to be a little bit more patient than we want to be. Like everyone is so antsy to just like get back to normal. COVID's not going away. Viruses are very good at what they do. It's sticking around. So like, I think we all just need to like take a deep breath, understand that it's going to be weird. It's going to be hard. Hold each other's hands, be kind to one another. And like, we'll get through it. We'll get through it. you know. In terms of what I'm looking forward to, I am really looking forward to watching and being a part of telling better stories in this industry. I think there is an opportunity that's been presented to us where a lot of people that were very brave came forward over the past year and a half and told their stories about injustices and inequalities and things that need to change, that have needed to change for a very long time. And these people have been saying this for a while, but a lot of us just now, myself included, are finally listening. And I'm super excited to be a part of, you know what? We don't need to tell this story. This story is fine. Let's leave it in the past. Let's tell this new exciting story that needs to be told by people that need to tell it. So that's what I'm really excited for, is like, I think art has always been a change maker, and watching change happen, like that's where it is, you know?
Becky, you're leading, like you're one of the leaders of the parade. I mean, literally, because you're not only a creative, you're on the front lines in terms of helping the community out with this whole COVID crisis. And before I let you go, I'm obviously so excited you're coming on board this amazing new app that's going to be connecting you with artists and potential collaborators all over the world. But on top of that, I'm just grateful that we're connected now. We know so many of the same people in common, but also you're just one of the good ones. You have a wealth of experience for someone who is so young, but also at the same time, you have a great heart. And I'm just very grateful that we're connected now, and I can't wait to collaborate with you.
Yeah, let's do it.